Hey guys, it's been a good long hard day. We put in a lot of work today. Weather was beautiful. You really can't choose any better weather than this. But show you what we got done. We got these light bezels done. I got them sunk in and got them looking good. I still got a little bit more cleanup to do on the edges. I'm going to get a sanding pad on my little air grinder and get in there in the nooks and crannies, clean that up. But you can kind of see how that's going to look. You know, I think it's going to look good with the tail lights like that. Probably just set back a little bit into the truck, protecting it as well, but also where you can see it because it's more level towards the back of the truck. Looks pretty good. Also got my my bungs for the limiting straps welded in. I put a little kicker on them. I don't know, I can't not put a little brace in them. Got the tab for the limiting straps right here on the axle. Got it flexed out. I'm gonna let that cool off before I put those on. I mean, hopefully we're getting close to being done. We got a couple of caps we got to make, you know, for here. I got two of them for the top of the hook rack. Another cap over there. But all in all, looking pretty good. Here's the other headlight or tail light bucket, excuse me. Looking great. Got them cut out. Got it where the grommets will fit in there. Just a lot of little stuff left. Also went to the parts store today and got my serpentine belt ordered for the front of the engine here. There's a couple different lengths you can go with. One thing I haven't been impressed with, and this has been for all vehicles here lately, is all these pulleys are made out of plastic. They just don't hold up well. I don't really like that. I got this sleeve put on and completely welded in, so it's looking good. I got my Premier Power Welder alternator installed. That way that we can kind of see where everything's going to line up. Also, went and got one of these AC Delco idlers, smooth as glass. The other one that was on there was an older one that came off the Denali or Escalade this was in. So also got some 7018 laid down on this front cross member, so I'm pretty much done welding that front cross member. You know, really I'm ready to now start hooking up all the serpentine system once I get the belt in. Also, I'm going to start putting on the front clip. That's going to be exciting. Got my limiting straps on up here, so those are done. It's definitely coming along, guys. I'm really proud of the progress today. You know, seems like some days you really blow through some things and you get a lot done, but today it was just a lot of little details like those taillight buckets that I made. That was kind of an after the fact thought that I decided I was going to do, but I think it turned out good and I think it'll be nice. I got to still make some caps down here to go on the ends of the bumper. Probably going to end up welding some D-rings on the back here somewhere, and then also receiver hitch probably right in the middle, just because, not that I'm gonna tow with this truck, probably won't tow with this thing, but if I needed to put something inside of there like a receiver with a shackle on it, I could do that, or you know, I don't think I would ever tow, but who knows. I think on a previous video I mentioned maybe doing something with a anti-rock bar. I looked at a couple different setups, watched some videos. A couple different guys had ideas on a sway bar, and I don't know, not that I want to spend the money, but honestly the anti-rock bar that they sell that's already got a kit with it, to me it's a lot better setup and it's ready to be put on. It's made well. Yeah, it's $600, but what's $600 in the realm of this project? So I'm excited to start working on the interior and the front clip. I think we got a lot done in the back, finished up. I've been keeping this welding blanket on the window back here while I'm grinding and cutting, welding. I had a bad experience one time out when I was working out in the dirt welding up fire trucks. I got to where, you know, I was pretty gung-ho and just, you know, balls to the wall the whole time, welding, cutting, and I went to wash my truck up a couple weeks later, and as I'm washing it, I'm like, what's all these little pieces of, you know, metal that are like embedded into my windshield and my doors and paint and everything. It's because I was grinding and throwing hot metal slag and grinding discs and everything all over my pickup, and it was embedding itself into the glass. So you live and you learn, you guys. It's just part of it. And that was me coming up and learning. So now anytime I got glass in something, or if I'm even remotely close, I always put a welding blanket on it just to keep that stuff from happening. But here's how it looks, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Hopefully you guys like what you're seeing. If you got some suggestions, let me know. If you got you know, comments about how good it looks, let me know. I'm pretty happy with the way it's set up, and you know, in your mind you kind of have an idea of the way you want it, but until you start actually putting those thoughts and those things you've been kind of swirling and doing a brain dump on into motion here, you don't really see it. So for me, it's really cool to kind of see this come together. Yeah, it's definitely different, but that's what I'm shooting for, to be different and you know, to get my chances up, possibly to go on ultimate adventure. So appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Caleb Morrison. This is Caleb's Diesel and Fabrication. If you like fabricating stuff, if you like working on diesel vehicles, this is a great place to be, because we're going to do it all. All right, guys. So what I got going on right here is, obviously you can see my tire is touching the fender right there where it was stock and set up like this. So my bump stop, the way I'm measuring this is my bump stop right there, which has a pad right there that goes down. When it comes up, it's got about 6.5 inches of travel. So from my tire right here to this, I have almost 7 inches. I think it's 6 5/8. 6 and, well, if you go on one of the lugs, it's like 6 and a little over 5/8. Anyways, so I think I'm going to be able to get away with not having to cut a ton of fender out that I was originally planning on. That's one of the things on this project, like, do a lot of measure before you start getting the cutoff wheel out. So what I'm going to do, I think, to be smart about this, instead of just hacking into it and just start cutting the old Danny DeVito, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece so I can have this radius, because I know I'm going to cut more of this out. So I'm going to level this off so it's straight across here, and then I'm going to cut this radius out right here so I have this piece, and then I can move this piece forwards and I have a template so I can start right around here somewhere with that radius and make my cut. So I have this as a measurement and a guide, so this doesn't look like Ned the first grade reader cut it on the first project. I want the outside lines to look good. I don't want it to look like I just decided one day with the cutoff wheel that I wanted to make it happen and get it done. So another thing we're working on is we tried to use the stock mounts for this radiator, and they just look goofy. Jacob worked on it a little bit yesterday. It just looks like you don't give two shits about what's going on by using a piece like this. So we're gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna use this. It's gonna be a lot better, look like we actually care, and I think it'll work better and be a little more heavy duty anyways. So here we go. I'm gonna do some cutting, do some more measuring first, and we'll go from there. Alright, so right now what we're doing is getting the A-frame set up over this truck. We're going to try to, I'm going to audible here and try to pick this up, undo my coilover so I can get this thing at full bump. Again, if I had a lift over here, it'd be super handy, but I don't. So we're just going to use the old aluminum A-frame or trolley with the A-frame, and we'll get it lifted up. So what we're going to do here on the fender, decided that I don't want this to stick out like a sore thumb, so I might have to end up taking this piece that is right here that I cut out, which is a perfect template, and putting it back on there, doing a little rework, because there ain't nothing like rework. Weld it back on there. Good thing I know a good welder. And get it where it covers up that little spot right there where the core supports it is. So Jacob is in the process of hooking onto the cross member, the chain for the trolley, so we can pick this thing up. And, hopefully we'll get these things done bolted and get a jack underneath the front axle. I think we don't have to use the shop motto on this one, Jacob. We do it right because we do it 4 times. All right, I'm back. So basically what I need to do after I got this all trimmed out, and I ended up cutting quite a bit off, more than I needed to, so I ended up scabbing this piece back on. No, I'm not a bodywork guy, but I can make it look halfway decent. I trimmed it off pretty good here on the front so it can clear. You can see how much difference it has. I mean, that's the radiator inside there, just so I can clear it. This side, about the same. You know, you can see I got it trimmed down. What I'm gonna end up doing is going in here and cutting another 1/2 inch total off this. All right, I'm back. Gotta love these GoPro batteries. Seems like they make it about 10 minutes. Okay, so anyways, what I was saying was, I'm going through here. I'm gonna end up having to cut another 1/2 inch or so above the fender line to kind of take into consideration, you know, the shock of the bump whenever it hits. And then I'm also probably going to put some bar stock on the edge of here, so that way if trees and stuff hit the side of this, it just rolls off. So I think I got some, it's either 3/8 or 5/16 bar stock that I'll just weld on there. I think it'll look good and tough. I can stitch weld it in, I think it'll look nice. So I'm going to do that on both sides. The fender lines aren't completely straight. It's mainly because I knew I was going to have to make a final cut, and was going to have to make it work. But I'm contemplating right here trimming this off, going down to kind of match this, but it's not in contact with anything, so I could do something there. I got to figure out, on the square body fenders, they attach at the very bottom and they suck into the, you know, the side of the body. So what I need to do is build a piece to go in here and suck down to the cab. Maybe something to do with this bolt right here to pull it in, because I need it to be on there, and I don't want to weld it just in case I do end up having to take it off. I mean, I can always weld it, and you know, there is such thing as a cutoff wheel, but I'd rather not. So that's where we're at. I'll be back here in a little bit. I got to get some of that bar stock that I have in my pile outside, and then I got to make, you know, I'd like to make this cut one time, make it look nice. So it might take me a minute to get it all marked out, but I'll be back. All right, I'm definitely a little nervous about cutting into these fenders, because when you're cutting with this, it's kind of like the point of no return, unless you want to get some more new fenders and completely start over. So I marked on it quite a bit, just trying to make sure I got a good setup here. I've went through, I don't know, 25, 30 cutoff discs, death wheels, you know. They've been flying apart, but I think we're making some headway. The other side's done, but I'll get it on video, me cutting this side. You guys can check it out. Let's see here, put you in a good spot. Dad used to tell me, you make a better door than you do a window. That really wasn't a good spot for you guys. Alright guys, so here's what we got going on. I got my pieces, like I was telling you, it's about a 3/8 bar. It's a bar stock, solid. I think it's going to be good to put on the fenders here, so whenever something's up against the fender itself or something's scraping, it'll have some backbone right here. Since the inner fender in this is not really going to be tied together, it's kind of flimsy. I think this will stouten this whole setup up, and then also I left it a little bit long so I can actually on the front tie this into the bumper whenever I figure out what I'm going to do on the bumper because I haven't got that far yet. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants really at the moment, but yeah, so we're going to start. The most important part here is whenever we go to start this is if you start at the corner, you got to kind of get this in the right spot right now to start. And then the key is, guys, you're just trying to get a good starting point, and then obviously you're going to end up welding this fender to this piece, and you're going to bend this piece around. And it doesn't really make sense right now, but when you guys see it, whenever we bend it around and it's kind of tacked to this, because the good news is about this fender, like most of the fenders you see today on vehicles, it's like literally thinner than pop metal. This is a little bit thicker, and it's actually, you know, mid-80s, so they actually had a little bit better steel back then, and I think it'll weld pretty good. So, I mean, when I put those pieces on a while ago, I noticed it didn't burn through immediately like some of the newer cars would. So I'm gonna get this piece started. We'll get the torch over here, start working on that. I probably need to trim, well, under. Could put it inside of there. I like to make it aesthetically pleasing, but also I like it to look planned. I mean, I knew I kind of was going to do something like this, but I wasn't sure. Probably going to do something like that to start out with, and then work my way up. And like I said, we're going to bring it in, but we're going to work. I need to trim that a little bit more, but we'll work our way through there. Need to cut that little end off. The most important part right now is starting at the point and getting it tacked on there and making sure that it's got a good base, because when we start going through here and tacking it, the more you get it anchored and tacked, the better it's going to be. The beginning is the most important, because it's going to dictate the rest of this setup here. There we go. Open that area. Then we'll bring the fender over there to it. So we'll get a tack on it real quick. It's hot on the tip. Trying to get a good tack on it so I don't have to worry about it coming off. Because when you start bending it, the worst thing is when it starts falling off. So now we can kind of start at the bottom here. And one thing I've learned with working with steel, when you're starting to weld from a thicker metal to a thinner metal, start on the thicker part of your metal and then work back over and just touch your thinner metal, like this fender being, you know, real thin, because it's going to stick better, stick easier if you just start over here on the thick stuff, which is 3/8 rod can handle it. There's a lot of material out there that's not going to be able to handle the heat, but this can definitely handle it. So we're going to continue on. And you might have to massage it a little bit to get it to, you know, go over there. So it's good to have a hammer with you and just kind of work it. The more you can close the gap closer to this piece, the better off and the easier it is going to be to weld. Guys, don't be afraid to put a lot of little tacks on here, because you're going to slowly get up there where it needs to be. So I got a spot up here that's really tight, pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead. Well, let me look at this real quick. Let me see where I'm at. All right, probably at this point, since we got a hidden tack on the bottom, we get a couple more. I'm gonna go ahead and get the torch over here. That way we can start working on bending it, because I want it to kind of mirror this. And I need to grab the hammer too so I can work it. It's already starting to heat up, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I think it's gonna work good. I think it's gonna be nice. The more and more you can get this on there and tack good, the better off it's going to be. So try to go through here and put quite a few tacks on it. Got us a hammer. Probably need to get the gloves on again. All right, we've had a real productive day in the shop today on the old rock crawler. Got both sides of these fenders knocked out. You know, got them cut out. Got the profile of it down. Got it at full bump. Checked the steering. Got it trimmed down to basically nothing. I mean, you can see how wide open it is. Still has a square body look. It's still got that same fender profile, which I was going for. I didn't want to change it so much that you can't tell what the truck is, and I think I've accomplished that. This side, I didn't really video guys doing this side because it's more of the same exact thing, but you can see the profile is exactly the same. Comes down, goes straight to the point. I think it looked, you know, it is what I imagined it to be, which I had to cut out more than I thought I was going to have to cut out whenever I was at full bump, turning lock to lock all the way. But I think it turned out good. And you know what's crazy is if you look in here, how much room there is now with all that pulled out of there. It really turned out good. I'm really liking it. I left these pieces of bar stock real long. That way, whenever I decide what I'm going to do with my bumper, I can tie the bumper into those or tie those into the bumper. And it's going to strengthen that. I don't know if you guys can tell, but on a video, but when you're moving this, like before it was very flimsy, and now I mean it's tied into this rock slider on the outside, welded in. It's really stout now. I'm really proud of that, because I know it's going to get stuff banged up against it, bumped up against it, trees, logs, rocks, stuff like that. And so I'll clean this up where it's smooth, you know, along here, and then I'll probably end up putting a piece on the inside, like from here going down to the rock slider, to just give it some more support, like a triangle, you know. That's the name of the game, guys. You're just trying to get this thing stronger. But I can tell every little bit whenever like you move this one, it's there, it's tight. I got a couple little small tacks I got to do to the inside, so we're not hearing a bunch of wiggling and scraping and stuff like that. But all in all, I really like the profile of it. I think it ties the truck in pretty good. Yeah, you can obviously tell that the axle is farther forwards, but I think it's got a really good stance. Progress has definitely been made. Today was one of those days where we got a lot done. So appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. A little bit of a custom setup here. This is not something you just throw on there, you know, in a couple of weekends. But it seems to be the theme of this project, and that's all right, because it's different, and it's me, it's mine. And I'm pretty excited because, you know, being different and being me, hopefully will get me more points towards maybe going on Ultimate Adventure coming up, possibly around September, October time. You know, just a little bit more every day, a little bit more progress. That's all we got to do. Thanks, guys. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what I'm doing good, what I'm doing bad. Still kind of up in the air about the paint on this rig. I love the patina, but obviously I think it would look nice with something fresh on it too. I definitely would go two-tone either way, but I don't know. I'm kind of just going with the flow here. Tell me what you guys think. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll get it going again. All right, guys. We're back on it today. We did a lot of good yesterday on those front fenders, so I'm happy to see the progress. You know, new day, so we're gonna see what we can get done. I'd like to work on getting these brackets completely made and mounted for the LS radiator that I'm putting in. It's a Be Cool radiator. I think it's gonna be super nice. It's gonna cool well, so its only job really is to cool the engine. I'm trying to simplify things here, and I got coolers for about everything on the truck, so not sparing any expense. One of the practices I like to do on my own projects in the shop, and not only, you know, rock crawling, but, you know, in the shop itself, is whenever I work on a project, I like to clean up the area before and after I get done, you know, working on it. So yesterday, had to go out and do some things with the family late, and so anyways, I had to kind of get done quick and didn't get to clean up. So I'm gonna do that this morning. I'm gonna clean up some of this stuff underneath the truck and make a clean workspace, kind of tidy it up, get us where we need to be so I can start working again, start doing some cutting and making it dirty one more time. It's just something you do over and over, going crazy, but it's good. Perfect weather today. It's Easter Sunday. Man, you can't ask for better weather than this. The wind just barely blowing. beautiful, sun's out. This is a great day, so we'll see what all we can get done, guys. We'll see if we can get it cleaned up. Hope you guys are enjoying what's going on. Alright guys, got a little bit done today, and I mean a little bit. These are the brackets that I ended up making for my radiator. It's going to go over here, basically encapsulate the radiator, and I had to go get some, I thought I was going to be able to go get some bolts, but the way this works is, I got about 14,000 washers on it, but they sit in here, like that. And that is what holds the radiator in. It's got some little pieces of hose on it, and then I also have some of the rubber isolators, from the original radiator mount that's going to go right in there. It'll hold the radiator in. I need to get some 1/4, 20, 3-inch long bolts. Tractor Supply was closed today for Easter, so have to wait on that. The Holly system, getting pretty close on it too. This is where I need to put my mass airflow temperature sensor in, and I got to get a 21/64 drill bit, and then I've got to tap this out to M18 by 1.5 into the intake here, so it can live right there, so I can have that sensor. And then this is my mass airflow sensor whenever I figure out where or how I'm going to get that hooked in. Fuel line fittings finally got here today. They were delivered, so that's good news. Once I get the radiator in, I'll have to work on getting my water neck routed from the pump down here to the bottom of the radiator. Now, I did buy the water neck that has a adjustable neck, so I'll be able to move that back and forth, so that'll be good. I won't have to worry about hitting something or getting in the way. don't have to go to the parts store 60 times to figure out the right hose bend. It's probably going to take a special kind of bend, but I'll be able to move that neck around a little bit on the water pump outlet so I can get it where it needs to be. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got done. Did a little bit of grinding on the front of this. I got another piece put underneath here to tighten that up. Just kind of did a little bit on this. I had a couple of people stop by the shop today and kind of slow down some progress. Didn't have the door shut, so they thought I was working, which I was, but it's too nice of a day to have the doors closed. But yeah, that's all I really got done today. Not a whole lot, but those brackets, the measuring, the cutting, and making all those, it takes longer than you think to make something like that to hold it. I wish I knew something that was a little bit more convenient to use with these LS style swap radiator kits to make it fit with the square body, but that's okay. I'm handy enough. I'll just keep making whatever I need to make to get it on the road and get it going. So appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.